Golub, he felt that art should always be relevant, should be deeply political, and it was the artist's responsibility to be able to, use art to stand up against certain atrocities or to portray them in his work. My name's Emma Enderby and I'm an exhibitions curator at the Serpentine Galleries in London. This exhibition is a survey exhibition which charts his career from the 1950s to 2004, the year of his death. His technique was extremely difficult, took up a lot of energy. Not only was he working in huge scales, but the way he would attack the canvases, scraping it away with sort of meat cleavers and solvents. It was a very energetic way of painting, a very sort of exhausting way of painting.
My name is Sam Kuntz. I met Leon Golub and his wife Nancy Spiro in 1986, and I went to work for them then, and I continued to work for them until their deaths. Leon was a soldier in World War II, and I think that affected him deeply. I think he felt a lot of pain.
Influenced by the Vietnam War and the atrocities that were happening, he started painting his very iconic Vietnam series, the Napalm series. In the 1980s, he started to paint mercenaries, American mercenaries, that were deployed in Latin American countries and parts of Africa. And he used this incredible sort of red oxide paint, which really pushed the figures into the foreground, sort of in a very aggressive manner.
He especially collected images of violence from Soldier of Fortune magazine, but also Leon used Sports Illustrated quite a lot to capture images of male aggression, in a sense, like the male figure in action. For example, in the Gigantomachy series, the figures are in battle, but they're derived from football. He would also cut away parts of the painting as a way of emphasizing the brutality that he was speaking of in the first place. I think it reinforces the subject strongly.
The title of the exhibition, Bite Your Tongue, comes from one of Golub's last complete work that he made in 2001. It was his last sort of major painting before he started working with a smaller scale. And the significance of Bite Your Tongue can mean you're not allowed to say something, you're not given agency to say something, and that title and that phrase reverberates with so many of the themes and characters that he was exploring through his work.
It's so important that Leon's work is finally shown here in Mexico. It was something I think that he really wanted to happen. To have that work finally shown here in the land of Siqueiros and Orozco and Rivera is important as well, because these were painters and artists that he had huge respect for, and I think they had an influence on him.
Golub's work for the present day is deeply relevant. I mean, everyone will open a newspaper and see some of the same images that are painted in Golub's paintings in papers and in the news. It still reverberates with today, which is deeply sad, but true. And that's partly why we felt the importance of putting on this exhibition now, because while Golub was commenting on events taking place from sort of the 60s onwards, they're still highly relevant today.